The handsome boy and the wild woman's love. There's something about the jungle, something ancient, mysterious, and hauntingly beautiful. Every leaf, every breeze, every distant call of a bird hides a secret. But one story buried deep in the heart of a forgotten forest was only known to a young man named Zion, a handsome traveler from the city who had no idea that nature was about to rewrite the story of his heart. The journey begins. Zion was a photographer, known in the city for his striking looks and even sharper eye behind the lens. But despite his fame and followers, something felt missing. Life had grown stale, mechanical. So one day, he left everything behind and headed for the untouched depths of the Amazon jungle, seeking inspiration, silence, and unknowingly, love. He joined a small nature research group deep in the forest. From the moment he stepped into the wild, Zion felt watched, not in fear, but in an eerie, magnetic way. The jungle wasn't just alive, it was breathing with something, or someone, a glimpse. On the second morning, while Zion was taking photos near a riverbank, a shadow flickered across the trees. He turned just in time to see her. Long, wild hair flowing like vines, bare feet dancing over the earth, her body clothed in leaves and nature itself. Her face was hidden, but her presence struck like lightning. Who was that? He whispered, heart racing. No one in the camp had seen her, but Zion knew he hadn't imagined it. The first encounter the next day, he returned alone to the river. Hours passed. Then she came again. This time, she stood behind a tree, watching him. Zion didn't run or react. He simply smiled and gently waved. The woman stepped forward slowly, cautiously. She had cuts on her arms, likely from thorns. Her eyes held wildness, but also sadness. When she spoke, it was just one word. Allah. That was her name. Zion offered her food, which she refused. But when he handed her a small flower, she took it, and something in her eyes softened. From that day, their silent meetings became a ritual. A strange bond, Zion and Allah shared no common language, but the jungle became their translator. She would guide him through hidden trails, show him secret waterfalls, and even teach him how to listen to the wind. Zion, in return, captured her beauty through his lens. Not for the world, but for himself. One evening, as a soft rain fell, Allah allowed Zion to tend to a wound on her leg. She flinched at first, but then let him clean it gently. That was the first time she touched his hand, and it felt like time stood still. A hidden past one night, sitting under a giant tree. Zion finally asked, "Why are you here?" Alone in the jungle, Allah looked into the firelight, eyes heavy with memory. Left behind when I was a child. The jungle raised me. Zion's heart ached. He saw in her not just a wild spirit, but a wounded soul. His feelings had grown deeper, beyond fascination, beyond curiosity. He was falling in love with someone untouched by the world he came from. Love or madness? As the rainy season arrived, Zion built a small shelter for Allah one night. Lightning lit up the sky as they sat close together, wrapped in blankets. Allah leaned her head on his shoulder. Zion looked at her and whispered, "Come with me. Leave this place. I want to give you a new life." Allah looked at him silently, then said, "If I'm with you, I can live anywhere, even without the trees." That night, love bloomed between them like wildflowers after the storm. It was pure, powerful, and untamed. The city's cruelty when Zayar brought Allah back to the city, people were stunned. Some called her the wild woman. Others called her crazy. News spread like wildfire. Reporters followed them. Photos were leaked. Allah, who once danced with nature, was now stared at like a strange creature. Zion stood by her, shielding her from judgment. But Ella's spirit began to fade. She wore city clothes but never looked comfortable. She never spoke much. The noise, the walls, the staring, it all broke her slowly. One night, with tears in her eyes, she said, "I love you, but this world is killing me. Zion held her tight, not wanting to let go. The crossroads. I can't breathe here, Allah said. I need my trees, my river, my silence. Zion was torn. On one side was his career, his work. On the other was Allah, the woman who had shown him real beauty, real freedom, real love, a long silence path. Zion picked up his camera, took one last photo of the city skyline, turned to her and said, "Let's go. A new beginning today, deep in the heart of the jungle. There's a hidden hut beside a quiet stream. Villagers sometimes speak of a beautiful couple who lived there. A man with gentle eyes and a woman with a spirit like fire." Zion never returned to city life. He built a small research center in the wild and spent his days capturing the jungle's soul. Ella, barefoot and free, became the queen of her world again, this time with love beside her. Their love has no status updates, no followers, but it echoes in every tree and dances in every breeze. Some love stories begin with words. Theirs began with silence and never ended.